Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. Because now I know when something happens in our lives that is unexpected, you have to go into it in order to ever have any hope of coming through it. So when you go, guess what? When you come out the other side, you grow.
Brought out more in me than I thought that I didn't even know that I had.
That has given all of us a great hope for what we can do with our own messages, our abilities to deliver, but most importantly, to deliver it in an authentic and very, very intriguing way.
Have you ever been in something or felt something where the only way you felt you could deal with it was to leave, get away? I thought that was the meaning of control. It took me 4.5 years to stop looking around the room of my life, of my journey, of my purpose, digging in cushions for a remote that never existed. Looking, re-looking, going back and upgrading, bringing in and pulling out things that do not serve you must go. Those things out in this world that are designed to bring us down, to keep us down, put their foot on our neck and whisper to us that we're never good enough, they don't whisper. They yell at us from all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner, 365 days. When somebody asks you about yourself, don't you dare whisper. When they ask you to raise your hand, don't you dare half raise it. When they ask you something good about you, you scream it with all you have. Come on now, get up, get up. Tell me who you are. Show me who you are. Greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost.
it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul, and honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
All right, wake it up. Wake it up. Wake that ass up. That's all there is to it. I know it's Monday, but you guess what? Guys, listen. It's Monday for you, but for us today, it is Friday. You know, I quit like 2 years ago. I was honest with you guys and said when I was doing pre-records, I was going to stop trying to make it seem like it was actually the day, you know, because I couldn't keep it straight. So this is Friday, but listen, I told you guys, whenever I do a pre-record, it's because I do not want to miss the opportunity with the guest, and I don't want you to miss it either. That's how important their content is. And so we make exceptions and we get it done, right? So you know how that is. Can I get an amen? Why, thank you. That's the Bell of Purpose, you guys. Been here all 8 years, and it's not a prop. It's not a gimmick. We around here prefer to refer to it as an opportunity. It really is, because when you hear the bell ring, and you will all through the broadcast, it's a reminder to lean in and tune in that there's some truth out there, and we don't want you to miss it because we're busy folks, but trust me, you don't want to ever get that busy, right? Okay, so we have, he's been here before, but it's been a minute. You might remember a young filmmaker that I met in San Diego. I'm not sure if he's in Los Angeles, San Diego, where, but he's on the West Coast. We're going to clear that up when he gets in here. Even Galeano. Remember? Brand Story. Remember that? Yes. All that great footage. Get it out, Lauren. All that great footage from the retreat in San Diego back over. Wow. It's been over a year now. Yeah, time flies, right? So we're going to get him in here and talk about what's new and exciting in his life. Brand new stuff. And we want you to know about it. Listen, put some hearts on the screen and do yourself a favor, a solid. Share the broadcast out. You're going to get blessed in the manner you bless others. And trust me, there's a blessing coming because I can hear him coming down the hallway right now. Put your hearts on the screen. Evan's on the way. You changed some stuff up since I saw you like 7 minutes ago. Okay. All right.
Yeah, how's it looking though? I might be looking a little overexposed now.
Well, film people.
That's better.
There we go. Yes. You reminded me of that movie Powder for a minute.
Yeah.
Remember that? How you been?
I've been good. How have you been?
Awesome. I mean, you know, just to be fair, but still square. I'm here. I'm happy. And I just want to say, if you guys follow Evan, if you don't, you need to. But if you do, you know, I want to get to the first thing. So are you like a modeling agency on the way? A manager? Because I see, oh, wait, that's your girlfriend. Right. Oh, you're taking all those model pictures. Let's give a shout out to her in case there's somebody. I should have had a picture of her pulled up. Maybe we can get that before we get out of here. Huh?
Yeah. Kim, my girlfriend, she started her modeling career and she just actually had her first paid gig. So she's super stoked about that.
She did?
Yeah. For a camping chair company that sells in like Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, well, that's got to be exciting.
Yeah, she's stoked.
When's it come out? You got to let us know so we can go and like take pictures by it and stuff.
Yeah, I think in a few weeks she'll be able to get the photos, and then we'll definitely get them posted. So,
well, that's exciting. Congratulations to her. Tell Kim we said, way to go. So I see you got the Brand Story t-shirt on, Evan. But I know you got some new things you want to bring in for the folks today. So here's what I do. You notice I didn't read a long, exhausting bio. Quit doing that a few years ago. And what I do now is I dip out, leave the stage all to you for about 60 seconds, where you can I really encourage the guests to just, pour into the viewers and just, what's on your spirit. And then I'll use that to get the conversation started when I return. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, all you, take it away.
Cool. Well, my name is Evan Galeano. I run Brand Story video agency, and we got started in 2019. Been started specializing in content and then became growth partners. I've helped consult with startups on raising capital. Did a raise with Chill Chat, where I headed up their branding and marketing in 2021, helped them raise $8.5 million, led up by crypto.com. And since then, started focusing more on healing stories. So we actually just acquired healingstories.com, which I'm pretty stoked about. And for the last year now, we've been working with leaders in the holistic healing and wellness space. So right now, we currently are partnering with 2 holistic doctors that have private practices. One is a sleep doctor with an innovative solution for his sleep apnea patients. And the other is a fibroid specialist, interventional radiologist, Dr. McHale, who we've been with and helping him scale his fibroids clinic in the Bahamas called Bahamas Interventional Fibroids Center. And so that's been a lot of fun. And the other doctor, Dr. Henry, has a sleep center called Everest Sleep Center in Downey. And we've been sending them a lot of leads, and they've been sort of breaking their business in the best way.
You said Dr. Who in Downey?
Dr. Henry Q.
Dr. Henry Downey. We want to put his address out there too. Go ahead.
Everest Sleep Center. You can look up Everest Sleep Center. But anyways, those are our 2 first holistic doctors that we've been. And honestly, like I see our partners as heroes. Like they're just I love what they do.
I'm kidding. I love having shameless plug ready because it comes in handy when people are like, "Oh my goodness, it's so funny." I love it. Thank you for that. I want to ask you this though, seriously. So holistic, you got me interested there because there seems to be a trend afoot. You know what I mean? Where a lot of doctors and people in the medical field from traditional Western medicine, let's say, are dropping that ball and picking up this whole holistic piece, So let me ask you something. Why did you choose? Why don't you just go and stay where the money's at?
Oh, man.
That's a lot of people, and keeping it real, you're out there in San Diego. San Diego is like walking through a landmine, a field of landmines. Because I'm just keeping it real, it's a mecca. There's a lot of but I thought you were in LA.
I am in Los Angeles, though. I am in San Diego often because
I do a lot of work down there. So do you know what I'm talking about? What I'm saying. I'm not saying names or anything, but it's just like, look, we're getting ready to vote. A lot of people don't want to vote because they're like, I don't know which one or which lesser of 2 evils or whatever. So that's just the reality of the reality. And I don't care. People act like you can't talk about it. They say don't talk about religion. And what's the other one? Politics. Just did it. Right. But I'm just saying, I think these are some of the things we should talk about, because that way, when I'm introducing people I love to you all out there, the people I love, you should know you can trust these people. Because, you can't just go like this and trust your brand story, trust anything that has to do with your legacy to just any old body. So that's why I have you on here. So talk about your passion, because you could have gone in a number of directions, but you've chosen now to pivot over to things that help ease suffering in the world more than just entertainment. So what's happening? What's up with that?
Yeah, so I had a breakthrough about a year ago that the stories that really I feel called to be fighting to make sure that these are the stories that are being seen and heard are the stories right now that now recently last weekend I literally witnessed a holistic doctor that was practicing Eastern medicine um, go up and do a presentation at a at an event for mostly there was holistic doctors there, but there was a Western doctor who I guess was running. He owned the property, and this
Okay.
was a spinal surgeon. And he, in the middle of this Eastern doctor's presentation, where he was helping a volunteer who volunteered hadn't met her, and he was helping her through some trauma, some childhood trauma that had occurred. And it was a really fascinating presentation. Everyone who was witnessing it happen was really invested. And she afterwards said how much that this is essentially he was tapping into neuro-linguistic programming, helping to reprogram her subconscious mind, help identify some of the beliefs, the self-limiting beliefs that were causing her
To
to
have
be stuck
physical
in
results.
cycles, and then manifesting everything from physical illness to manifesting heartbreak after heartbreak in her life that was
What is that?
essentially not allowing her to have a healthy love life. But this whole process was extremely fascinating, and everyone was really invested. And then something that he said triggered this Western doctor. And this doctor came over, and this doctor who owned the property and who was allowing this event, I guess, to take place from his friend who was running this retreats business, and this was like their launch.
Yeah.
He comes over, grabs the mic, snatches it, and starts to essentially just like break down why this is a scam, why this is a fraud, and starts to basically just like really just tear down this holistic doctor's credibility. And everyone's like,
He rented that place to them. He can't do that.
He apparently that's what he felt he was able to do, because he said, well, I own this place and I allowed it here if my one condition was that we would have to be able to have open panel discussion about the things that were happening here. And he said, he started talking to the event organizers, the people who he's friends with, and he's like, I don't know what the hell this is. You guys didn't clear this with me. And basically it became this whole like oh
my God, Jerry,
it was like a dumpster fire. And everyone was just like so taken aback. And then he ends up finally giving the mic back to the doctor after he's sort of like just totally just makes him like a mockery of his presentation. And then the doctor has like maybe says like a few sentences before the Western doctor comes back in, and then takes the mic and then walks out of the room. So
he took it a second time,
and this time like didn't even let the holistic doctor
here's what I'd have done.
Have a voice.
I'd have been like, Pookie, get Ray and the boys and come out here to Adra. I'm gonna text it to you. Tell them come on out here. We got to handle something, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so wait a minute. How many people are there watching this?
This is like a solid crowd of like, so I would say like at least 30, if not
and
more.
So are people looking at each other like, so?
Oh yeah. People are calling him out. People are actually like telling him to get out of the room, but he refuses. And he basically says, this is my room. And then we realize it is his room. It's his bedroom. But then I start looking around, and mind you, I'm not naming names or anything like that.
That is a bed. I knew it would look familiar. Okay, go ahead.
It's a strange. There's on the walls. There's all of these like paintings of these like nude women. It's like very objectifying. But they have red eyes. They have like dark gray skin, and one of them has like a knife. And I'm like looking around at just like all of these signs that there's this like dark energy in this man's room, and his energy is just dark. So I think it wasn't even the presentation, but I think it was what the holistic doctor was saying.
The true
nature of healing, that that healing isn't just on a physical level, but that healing has to happen at a metaphysical cellular
Oh
level,
my God.
and that the energies involved, even if you fix something on the outside and you put a band-aid, or even if you were to fix some type of wound, but if you don't fix whatever was manifesting those injuries to take place, whatever that person, it could be from it could be from childhood, it could be from these different traumas
Sure.
that keep us in these trauma cycles.
Sure.
And so, but I think it was what he said specifically about 100% accountability, that about that healing requires 100% accountability, and that healing is not possible unless one is right with oneself and the people around them. So it was like something he said about that triggered this Western doctor.
So let me ask, Evan, what do you think? Oftentimes when these conflictual, that's my own word, these butting of heads, it really sometimes feels like literal spiritual warfare in the moment. I've seen it. I've been there and I've seen, I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's kind of was what I was referring to at the front of the interview when I was saying it was like a landmine. That's what I meant. Nowadays, you have to really be, and it's not a warning, but it's a heads up. You must live your teachings if you are going to teach. You cannot, or should not at least, you can, but it's not going to end well, have these, you got to be on it all the time. You can't have a shared custody agreement with your teachings. So oftentimes, though, and you tell me if it was the case here, those outbursts, those types of trying to strip the credibility, end up having a different effect on everyone. It makes them go, well, what could be so powerful inside of what he said that you had to show your natural ass like that? That's like Will Smith when he walked up there and slapped the shit out of what's his name. You know what I mean? Instantly he was like, oh, Lord, what the hell I just did? Right? Because all your work, you can't go back. I don't care what you say. It doesn't bother me. I'm out partying at Vanity Fair party next hour. But I guarantee you, it follows you like a dark shadow, because that's exactly what it is. So what did you learn from that as a filmmaker and a brand story consultant? What did you learn from that about us, the people who,
Well, I mean, I did definitely learn that there's I think it was a blatant metaphor. Like, to me, I saw a very, very clear metaphor here of a Western, very wealthy, rich, powerful, status, like he has it all, like a Western surgeon who basically was stripping the voice away from anything to do with the Eastern, the more holistic, the more
they feel
on a essentially a way of true healing without requiring dependence on a system that is all about profiteering and about essentially putting, finding ways to treat symptoms, finding ways to treat symptoms and not the root cause. And as soon as it started being taught how we could actually heal the root cause for ourselves, I saw something that got triggered, and I saw a room full of people who were not given the ability to make their own decision, or to even be shown both sides, but rather just treated like almost like children, that, oh, well, you can't make that decision for yourself because you're just blind. And he said something, woman said, get out of here, we're about love in here. And he said, the reason I'm doing this is because I love you more than you love yourselves. And I just thought that was just
very condescending.
I could make a whole short film about what went down in that room. Because
what it speaks to, Evan, it speaks to the threatening nature of the truth, of options. Seriously, it's like this. If you don't believe it, if something doesn't make sense to you, it's because it ain't got shit to do with you. So in other words, why are you feeling so threatened that you got to do what you just did at someone else's expense? Because why don't you just say, okay, well, what about this? There could have been a nicer way to debate your position than to do that. So I think he helped the situation, because people go like, you know what, even if I was considering after the way you showed your ass, no thank you. Because
yeah, I mean, he definitely revealed his true
so what do you think
nature.
that's saying? What do you think that's saying about, I know we can't make assumptions and we can't let him speak for all Western doctors, but just that mindset that you witnessed, do you think it was he was threatened?
Well, no, I think the holistic doctor, I felt ultimately, I mean, not having the mic and just the whole situation ending, it definitely ended. It ended his presentation early. There was someone else who wanted to be treated and to have that process undergone, and that person essentially just got. They flew in. There was a Bollywood actor from India, and he just got essentially rugged. Couldn't do that, and so I just felt bad about the whole situation. But I feel like definitely just like on a more of like a macro level, like it represented like what's really just like wrong across the board in this country, which is a Western approach to medicine that completely ignores they don't even teach preventative medicine in this, from now having talked with multiple different holistic doctors who've been in the system, like Dr. Kapana, who we both know and love, Dr. Mansi Shah, like these are doctors who've been in a part of the system and then purposely unplugged, which is extremely hard to do with the debt that they collect, with all of that essentially they do to like keep them in that system and relying on it. And essentially a lot of these doctors get to this point where that's what they both said, like they felt their soul was being sucked out of them, to the point where they've just been taught that a sick patient is a cured patient is a customer lost, and that they are essentially forced to put surviving and paying off this mountain of debt above the actual patients who come in. And to break away from that system and to make it on their own. Well, they don't teach us entrepreneurship in our school systems, even at the highest level. I mean, even these doctors who are paying, multiple six figures for the degree, they didn't even have a single class taught to them about how they would start their own private practice, how they would ever survive on their own,
or nutrition,
away from the system. So this is why I feel so called to be working with the holistic healers, the private practice founders, the startup founders who are building innovative, disruptive solutions that are going to disrupt this industry. And they've tried to stifle these voices for only so long, the way I see it. And now we have what I believe is the most powerful form of communication in the world, which is the visual language and video storytelling. So that is the tool that I want to help as many holistic doctors. I want to be able to help equip them with knowing how to do this for themselves, to having our agency support them in their storytelling, in not just talking about what they do and telling stories, but showing them, because at the end of the day, seeing is believing, right? So if these Western doctors need to see to believe, then we'll show them.
I want to ask you this, because you're moving in this lane, and I'm still learning my way, but here it is. Okay. And I don't know. I'll let you know when she's coming on the show, but I have a holistic doctor. Everything in her LinkedIn and all across the thing says holistic doctor, healer, But then when I was in the pre-interview, I was assuming, but I had to get there so I was like, and what type of medicine did you go to medical school for? And she goes, I didn't go to medical school. I was like, but it says you're a holistic medical doctor. And so apparently there's a place people can go, like online or someplace, I don't know. And they're not medical doctors, but they say holistic doctors. Have you seen this? And I'm only bringing it in because I was like, wait a minute.
Well, I mean, I haven't heard of that. I mean,
You haven't?
I haven't, but also, I mean, doctor, healer, right? For me, it's like, is the work they're doing getting results? Then we can help them. If they are getting results, if they
But
have
I mean for
testimonials,
the
true healing
seeker.
testimonials.
But I mean the seeker. Because see, you're help, people like you are helping us find credible options.
Mhm, mhm.
You know, um, and so, well, let us know if you run into some of the, because I
Yeah,
didn't
no,
know
I
it
mean,
was
it's
a
good.
thing.
It's good to know, because you wouldn't want to work with someone who is essentially
And
not
you know what?
is saying they're a doctor and it's like
Well,
they're not really.
but wait, here's what I'm saying,
So,
Evan. Here's why I think this is important.
okay.
Seriously. Back in the 80s and stuff, I remember when to be a physical trainer was a real thing. People, I even went to the the school thing for it was like $4,000 to get certified and all this stuff, right? And then it gets to the place just like coaching. Coaching used to be something that people really believed in, and then anybody throws a shingle up and just calls them. I'm a self-proclaimed da 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 da. That's what I'm getting at. So I'm grateful that there are people like you and that these people are coming together that are the real thing to help people like us that just don't know better, because that's no different than that
Yeah.
Western guy
Yeah.
saying da 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 da. But it's in there under the name, and before long, it's going to be blurry. People aren't going to know what's the truth, and then they're just going to give up hope. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
that's I'm speaking to your work there, so I'm grateful for that. So let me ask you, how different? I wanted to show the brand story video.
oh, okay.
Is that still like 100% plus now of what you're still doing? I mean, it's not dated if I show it, is it?
It definitely represents the visual storytelling, and the format that we our approach, is content first. I mean, we essentially take content and we use it as more than just what you typically would expect, video to be on
Yeah,
social media and to be a
yeah,
one-off post, but we create assets that can be timeless. And I mean, this video, even though we made it, 5+ years ago, 2019 was when we made, like, beginning of 2019. To this day, it still works. It still works in getting my message across, in my mission and my vision.
absolutely.
Now we've gone more niche. We've gone more toward healing stories. So we're going to create another one here coming up soon. But I think that this still captures that
Yeah,
legacy that
right.
started
The
when I founded
intention is
it.
the same. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's still.
I want you to speak to this real quick to help set up um the vibe of what they're going to feel when they see this. And what I'm speaking to is you have another passion that keeps you vested, especially in where you've pivoted to with the holistic. And I'm speaking of your brother. um
Yeah.
you hold that torch out there for everybody, and I love that. Fill them in on what I'm uh speaking of.
Yeah, no, so I mean, my little brother Daniel, he's 27 now, and when he was 2 years old, he was developing like a healthy 2-year-old baby, and he was singing Jingle Bells, and he was doing great. And then when he turned two, right around then, my parents, I guess the doctors told him, got to give him his last round of vaccines, and they went and they did it at some clinic, where they did this big round of vaccines all at once. And after that day, his behaviors went off a cliff. Like, and I know there's a bunch of people, there's a lot, there's the polarization of the
Right.
anti-vaxxers and things like that. The way I see it is, whether it was the vaccines, whether it was the way that clinic was storing them, that there was malpractice in some form, there was some sort of negligence in terms of how, like, the temperatures that the vaccines were kept at, whether that they were potentially outdated.
Yeah.
There's no way to know. There's no way to
Right.
know. All we know is that, in the months after, my brother's behaviors just essentially, he started to regress, and he started to now no longer even have language. And to this day, that's been a fight my family's fought. They put in, they were a landmark case against the pharmaceutical company that were manufacturing those vaccines. And they were part of a class action suit that they started. They started this. They started as well as another case against my mom's the fillings in her mouth that were made up of mercury, which also mercury is found in the vaccines as well. And mercury is a very toxic heavy metal that was found
into the systems.
That was found in my brother's brain scans. High traces of heavy metals, specifically mercury, in his brain that caused some type of brain damage and extreme neurodivergence, and messed with his neurological connection, like the connections between the neurons in his brain. And so that's been on my mind more and more as I've been entering this space. And recently, actually, I went to a very eye-opening seminar and a panel of doctors who were doing research in the field of psychedelics and plant medicines that are enactogens. So they essentially, they right now, as far as of all the things I've looked up, these have the most potential from what I've seen, and from the anecdotal evidence of those who've taken them, have the ability to sort of rewire the brain and actually promote neurogenesis, neurodiversity, and actually start to reconnect centers of the brain that have not been connected, or neurological connections that haven't been connected.
Wow.
And I've actually been reading the book this week called Autism on Acid, which is a very eye-opening read about essentially this man had autism to the point where debilitated his social life, felt completely disconnected, felt like he couldn't communicate, took LSD. I know it's, these are still illegal substances, and this may be polarizing. Some people might be going, what the hell are you talking about? Look, he talked about how it essentially, the way he saw it, is fixed his autism, where he was able to now feel emotions, feel connected, feel empathetic with others, and actually start to communicate in a way where he felt that he was actually, he figured out what he had been missing for all that time. So there's something to these specific hallucinogens. And
well, look at CBD. A few years ago, it was illegal.
Right.
Marijuana, medical marijuana, outside of medical marijuana, it was illegal.
Right.
And now,
and these are plants that have evolved with us. We actually have cannabinoid receptors in our body. We don't have alcohol receptors, but we have cannabinoid receptors. Like, our body has evolved with these plants. Our bodies have, and these plants have been around for as long as we have. And
well, I kind of do have alcohol receptors, especially prone to red wine. I'm just saying, they are a real thing. I'm kidding. Hey,
there's a lot of antioxidants, and I hear that it's
got that right. Look, we're gonna show the brand story piece right now, and here's why I think this is important. A lot of people, entrepreneurs, creatives, and the such and the like, a lot think that your brand is just hex codes, a brand Bible, what font you use, your logo. It's not. If those were your fingernails, that's the applique and the fingernail polish. But the actual fingerprint, the thing that is the most important on your finger outside of the use of it, that tells, it's the only thing that on your body, on the outside, that tells who you are. I've been here. It's your fingerprint. And that's what your brand story is, as far as your mission and how you claim to create legacy through the easing of suffering. So take a look, you guys, and then we'll be right back.
Video goes beyond just a one-off flash in the pan piece of content, and it becomes something more. When I went into film school, I went guns blazing, and I learned everything so that I could be the best equipped to tell a story. Each new set I went on to, I just wasn't feeling fulfilled.
I still hadn't told my own story.
My little brother grew up with severe autism, and my parents did everything they could to support and take care of him. One day, I got a call that we were gonna have to sell the house.
I felt this immense amount of pressure. Something had to be done or my family was gonna end up on the street.
All I thought I had was the ability to entertain. But it wasn't until that phone call that I realized all that I had done was so I could tell my parents' story and my brother's story. We put together a video that took the audience behind closed doors and we put it out. 300 shares later, we had almost a year of living expenses for my family, to take care of my brother, to get back on their feet. That security was everything for my family up until that point. But that's not the reason why I'm telling you this story. For the first time in my family's life, we were understood. From that moment on, my eyes were wide open. And all I saw were stories that were being misunderstood, that were being swept under the rug. At the height of these stories, I found that business stories were the most important stories to tell. Businesses have the ability to change lives and to transform at a scale unlike any other entity. Where businesses are going wrong is they're so caught up in the selling and the marketing that they've forgotten to give and to share the stories that they got into business for in the first place. The stories that unify people are confined in these walls, behind these closed doors, that businesses have forgotten to share. They've forgotten to let people in on a deeper level than just making an offer. And so I founded my company.
It's so good. Can I watch it again?
Wait, let's talk about it. Halfway through the video, I've got goosebumps, and the last 10 seconds, crying. This video comes out, we're going to be filled up 10 years.
You make things happen. Business is good. Everything is good. Thanks to you.
And it's so beautiful. The world needs to see what you have to offer.
But the video definitely like sealed the deal. He thinks I have an amazing TED Talk.
So at Brand Story, we tell the stories of businesses who want to impact the world. But we don't stop there because that wouldn't be enough. Further, making sure that we hardwire and ingrain these videos and these stories into the life of a business, into the communication, into the processes, so that they can continue connecting customers, clients, partners, investors, and withstand the test of time. I want you to know that you don't need me to tell your story, but when you're ready to take a stand for your mission, for your vision, put it into a video that's going to unify others together under a singular cause and get them excited, I want you to reach out to us. So what's your brand story?
Cool. Sorry. Listen, cool. I said, ooh-wee. I've seen that video several times, and every time I see it, I catch something I didn't catch the time before. And I'm gonna just break it down for you. This time, what I had to write it down. Powerful statement. Finally, in the first time in my family's life, we were understood. It took me back to that moment for me. I've never gone to that intersection. I have never gone to that intersection under that banner, being understood and how important that is. I'm serious. It was like I was blindsided on Survivor just then. It felt like it. It was like, wait a minute. And so I want to say that. And then you reminded me of what I always say. It's never about one thing. Look at what your brother's situation, your family's situation, how it led you to this thing, this place. Through that pain. That's why, I just finished listening to that book, The Alchemist. I just finished it this morning in the car after I left the gym.
One of my favorites.
And 62, just finally hearing it. Isn't it
Wow.
awesome? Right.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorites.
Right. And when you said we were understood, what hit me like that in that book when they said, so I'm probably paraphrasing, but it was to the effect of a missed blessing becomes a curse. Or, a blessing ignored becomes a curse. That's what it was. A blessing ignored becomes a curse. And so you did not ignore the blessing because your brother is the blessing. It's bigger than what in his situation is not the best. But see, a lot of people say, look what happened. And they hold anger and resentment. But you can still do what you guys did. But look at where you've taken it and how you're helping people today. Could you have ever seen it coming so full circle? Seriously, Evan?
No, I was angry for a long time. And, I think that now starting to, in my 20s was when I started to, come to the acceptance, the acceptance of the situation. And then as my parents just continued to fight, a lot of people around them started to go, all right, how long can you do this for? And the doubt starts to creep in, and the doubters come in, and they've got their logic and they've got the rationality behind why they feel that, this is there's only so much you can do. And, it's 24/7. I mean, taking care of him, and it's gotta be hard. They're getting up there in age, and there's all the reasons why, but they walk by faith, not by sight. And they've inspired me to do the same. And so I think they've gotten to a point where, even just another day of being able to get up and have a day with him, and he's in good spirits, and he's they're able to go out, take him out, they can go to the park, they can have food. That's a day. They won that day, and they take it day by day. And for me, being over here, not living with them anymore, the way that I can support is by walking by faith, but by taking action that I feel can help. And whether that be building a business that's going to be able to support them financially as they grow older, or really now what I've tapped into with the recent connections I've made in the holistic space, is I've been meeting people who are actually conducting research and pushing the ball down the field in the research for brain damage and for potential treatments such as the plant medicines that may be able to actually provide some real true healing to brain trauma, which is I'm very interested in. So I'm going to be helping a team of researchers who are going out into the Amazon, and probably be going out to the Amazon myself. And it was crazy as I was given this vision months before I actually met them. And
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I gotta put it up by those words. Seriously, because it ain't crazy like lunatic crazy. It's crazy wonderful.
Oh yeah, it's just hard. It's just hard. It's one of those things that's hard for me even to believe. But I was given a vision. I was going to be going out into the jungle to find these answers and helping the teams that were doing that. But they need support and they need funding. And that's the biggest thing is they have the anecdotal evidence. They've got right now one test that was done with 75 veterans showing that they had extremely reduced. They were able to many of them were able to heal from their PTSD using these plants. And that's really big, but it's not enough, especially with the way that the Western medicine world is, where they need multiple cross-referenced, peer-reviewed research after research paper after research paper in order to do anything. And the amount of hoops that they made, and the amount that also they've antagonized these medicines and demonized these different methods of holistic healing so that they can push their petroleum-based, pharmaceutical lab-built pills that
with nothing in there that you can, nothing in there ends, everything ends in oxide or edafine or some name that comes from a laboratory, not from the ground.
And I believe that I was allowed, and a part of my story and journey was being allowed to witness that the damage of that firsthand when in high school. That antibiotic wrecked my microbiome and pushed me into a downward spiral of depression and anxiety. And so, I mean, the fight is real.
Of course it is. And you saw how real at that event the other day. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, why do you think you saw that? Why were you allowed and put in that place to see that? You see what I mean? I think it was divinely placed to show you just how out of control the control is. The control is out of control. You know what I'm saying?
The schemers, they're scheming, and I think there's a new age approaching now that we do have these tools, we do have these teams that are forming and coming together.
And AI, think about how AI is going to help. with, you know what I'm saying?
That is a whole other can of worms. AI is going to help us, I think, as much as it's going to hurt us, possibly
Well,
more.
I'll say this because I'm kind of like up in there with some people right now with that are like a doctor who wrote the book on AI weeks before Chat GPT came out. I have it over here. Yusuf is his name. I met him when I was at Sanjeev Chopra's house, Deepak's brother in Boston. And they believe that here where it can help is that AI will be able to tell if 40 years from now, most likely you're going to deal with this if you don't start working against reversing it now. And that's the great thing about it. But I mean, you know, it's just like everything else.
Preventative care and
the intent, the
Yeah.
intention, the intention behind anything determines everything as far as the outcome. The intention.
Yeah.
Your heart must be pure. And thank goodness that what is greater than all of us knows that. So that's what I got to say about that. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about your future coming up in as recent as the year 2025, right around the corner. Anything we need to keep our eyes out for that you want to share a little insight into today?
Yeah, well, you know, now we're headhunting startups. So we're going, you know, we can only help so many holistic doctors on a one-on-one level. And we're pretty much right now, we're with our two, Dr. Henry, Dr. McHale, we are like going full steam ahead with their businesses. But when you start to bring hundreds of leads into a business in the very first month, it's essentially now going to create 10 more problems. Right now, we got to start creating the automated email sequences to follow up the leads, and then create lead nurture campaigns and create retargeting campaigns. So like we can only do that with like really these two holistic practices as our retainer clients, that we're going beyond retainer and beyond client. Really, the way that I view any business that I start to help is the goal is long-term partnership. Because those who we choose to work with is we're standing by their mission, we're standing by their, and we want to see their impact scale, right? With Dr. McHale, with the UAE treatment for fibroids, a lot of women don't know about that because it's a holistic approach. It's not just a surgery, which is going to cost way more, such as a hysterectomy, but also completely leave them barren, leave them without their womb. And so his approach is a lot lesser known because of that. It just hasn't been pushed by the Western medical world. And so now we're putting out advertisements helping to spread this awareness of this innovative treatment. And women all across the Caribbean are flocking to their DMs and to the comment sections to be like, hey, whoa, like, let's talk about
I gotta
this.
say this. I gotta say this just because you saw a little tip of the iceberg with its behavior the other day, right? So, you know, when it threatens somebody's power through money, influence, you know, and you're going to bust it wide open, it can be a scary thing. Does that ever cross your mind? Like, ooh, I'm getting inside of something. What's that black van that keeps going up and down my street kind of thing? You know, right?
I just feel, I understand what you're saying. And I do feel like there's something about showing and proving through video that makes me feel safe. That makes me feel
the truth.
That makes me feel that we are, you know, if we are the light workers and we are showing and proving that we're the real deal, and that people are, you know, we're showcasing the testimonials and things like that. You know, said it's a fight,
right?
And it is something. It is something.
I know. I bring that up
as I grow my personal brand in the space, you know, because maybe with individual holistic doctors doing these types of treatments, you know, there's the form of it, but that's also something that I have to find that in myself. Like, is this fight, like, am I willing to die for this? You know,
for all of us. That's right. That's right.
You know, because as you know, again, like as you grow your platform, as you grow your voice in a space like this, then yeah, there are with that increased visibility, there does become risk.
And I want to say this because we're out of time, but I want to say this because this applies to all of us. It applies to all of us. When you find your divine purpose, you don't pussyfoot around it. you don't apologize for it. It is not a Morse code type existence, nor a shared partnership or a shared anything. It is all day, every day. You have to be, because look at the other side of the aisle, right? But know this, when you are dealing within truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you who? You have a hedge of protection. You must live your teachings, and you must stay within principles. They are the only things that you cannot break, but do the wrong thing, and you can certainly find yourself broken against them. So I want you to take that with you today. Evan, thank you so much. Great work you're doing, and we support you 1,000% of the time. Anytime you want to come back, you have what we refer to around here as the turnstile invitation. The door is always open, okay? Always open.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You guys, scrolling underneath is the brand story video. That's Facebook, but we're going to go ahead and is that what?
I'm on Instagram, actually, is where I would suggest.
Instagram is your jam?
Yeah, just my full name. Just type up Evan Galeano and you'll find me.
We'll drop it in the comment section for them so they can go right to it.
Perfect.
And listen, all the best in this work. And if we can ever be of support or do anything to help make that voice a little bit louder, you let us know, okay? And the rest of you, get out of here. You're welcome, Evan. Thank you for getting up at the crack of dawn, 6 o'clock out there. Thank you so much, and thank all of you. It is Monday when you're watching this. I am in Seattle at this time, Monday. So traveling prayers and mercies, if you will. And listen, I'll meet you tomorrow for another illuminated conversation right over there on the front porch. Don't let my door slam on the way out, please. And guess what? As I tell you every day, Dr. Lauren loves you. Yes, he does. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. I'll see you tomorrow, you guys. Thank you, Evan. Have a great day, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you